do you do a lot of color? Because we want to help that color clan. And we want to address one thing, smart luxury, luxury care for color-treated hair. You all have my brochure that talks about what smart luxury is. And inside there is a page that describes the products on one side, and on the flip side, it gives you the salon price and then suggested retail alone. Jo Malone, for the women in this group, most of them, maybe some of the guys. Jo Malone is a woman who's from London who is a fabulous fragrance lady. And she had stores throughout England and then Europe that sold her very expensive fragrances. There's now a Jo Malone store inside Bergdorf Goodman. There's one down in Soho, and there's one up on Madison Avenue. There's one in Beverly Hills. I'm sure you have somebody in Philly and in better areas that sell it. So I wanted to see what her best-selling fragrances were, and I found a house that duplicated them. So when a woman is in the salon, the experience is a beautiful experience. What I did, this is pre-wash therapy, and I put it with a tint brush on every one of the stations. And if you smell it, this is the Amber Lavender fragrance from Jo Malone. Let's talk about the pre-wash therapy. So I'm a kid at Clairol, and I see us putting retouches on these ladies, and I'm saying, she has hair, what's your name? Colleen has long, beautiful hair, and somebody's retouching her roots. Why am I not doing something gorgeous to give her what we call a conditioning retouch? I'm adding value to the retouch, and I want people to say, wow, ever since I've been coming to Susie's salon, my hair feels better. Ever since I've been going to Dan's salon, my hair feels better. Here's what I ask them to do, and the instructions are on the back of the jar. So as you're passing the jar, look at the instructions on the back. It'll say, at the salon, apply the retouch to the roots. While the retouch is on the roots, I take the tint brush and I literally put the brush in my hand. Semi and demi people will use our energizing wash in the purple container. This conditions the hair a little bit. It's the lightest weight conditioning you can provide with a maximum amount of moisture and no grease. You'll notice on the bottles, because some of you have it in front of you, it says weightless. It is also for a this is the one you should. It is also for the woman who's always griping, I don't have any body. So put this in your notes. How many women will say, don't put any conditioner in my hair because it'll weigh it, make it too soft, it won't hold. But it is unconscionable for us to color hair and never condition it. This stuff is weightless. This is going to be your big seller because it's for anybody who uses permanent dye. It's for your ladies who have single process retouch every 4 or 5 weeks. She might have had highlights a couple times a year, but she's not really a bleached person. She's not a high lift blonde. She's a medium blonde. She's a redhead. She's a brunette. It's a lady who has her hair with permanent dye all the time. Okay? This has water, but a little more lipid and a little more hydration so that it keeps color-treated hair looking smooth and supple and shiny. Okay, by the way, before we go on, the Wash 2 and the After Wash 2 are fragranced with Jo Malone's Lime Basil Mandarin. You like it? I know you don't want to take it's like, it's a, you know what? I tell ladies to wash their bras with it. You guys would never get it, but guess what? The whole bathroom smells really pretty. Come on, who hasn't? You run out of laundry soap once and you shampoo in the water.
Yes.
Come on.
Yes.
Come on, we all...
Washing dishes, too.
Yeah, you're darn right. Okay, but you wouldn't want to do that with this because it's so hydrating. Now, this is the most expensive costed with. But this is Jo Malone's Wild Fig and Cassis. Okay. Again, not too girly, but very, very wonderful, very, very lovely. Wild Fig and Cassis. Hydrating. Okay. Hydrating provides the maximum dose of hydration and nutrition as it very gently cleanses, but completely cleanses the scalp. And it completely moisturizes, I'm sorry, the hair. With no grease. Now, a lot of us, who remembers that stuff that Goldwell made a while ago called Carasilk, and everybody loved it? Okay, but if you use Carasilk in my hair, I look like a grease vat. I don't care if I put it in for 1 second and rinsed it out. It was too much because I have fine hair. This does not take away body, but it is not going to give her body either. In other words, there's no grease in this. Hairdressers will judge a conditioner on one thing: immediate combability of the sink, right? All of my conditioners do immediate combability. Immediate. No grease. Yeah, but unlike, this is for people, pumps up the volume, pump up the volume, pump up the volume. Energizing wash and after wash with this. This girl's getting married. She wants big hair. Her mother wants big hair for that wedding. She's a lady who wants big hair for her big car and her big diamonds. This is it. I use Abundance in my hair. I have fine, miserable hair. My hair was blown dry this morning with Abundance. It is a foam. It contains the same fragrance as the pre-wash. This is the amber lavender. Okay? A little goes a long way. You pump it in, you put it on wet hair, and you blow the hair dry. Or for those ladies who have natural curls, you can put it in your hands, run it through the damp hair, and let them sit under the roller ball. You know, the heat source in the salon to let it natural dry. Okay? Doesn't let the hair frizz, but gives a maximum amount of volume to the hair. We have used, important point, wheat starches, because we found that wheat starches have less abrasion, and wheat starches do not, when you abrade the hair and you ruffle it up, when you're washing it or touching it or brushing it or blowing it out, you start spoiling the hair color because you're ruffling up the cuticle. These wheat starches keep the hair intact so the hair color does not fade. And this does not dry sticky. When this dries, it dries with no stickiness. This took a long time to make. I went back and forth, and the chemist got mad at me. He said, you know, Beth, usually I give something to somebody once or twice and they take it. And I said, well, Carmine's not really happy yet, and I'm not happy yet. So I always say our products were not tested on animals. They were tested on wealthy New Yorkers. These were tested, same thing. That's it. Actually, my dog's nicer. The ingredients are on the back. So okay, for the women who are always complaining about no volume, you got your three things, right? And the conditioner. Any questions about Abundance? A little goes. This is oh, by the way, Abundance has just been nominated for the new product of the year from the CEW. We are thrilled. It will be in the bag of every of the major leading beauty professional women. 680 women are attending the event in March. It is very obviously placed in the bag, and it is up for nomination for the product of the year. Okay, for giant wool hair, we have Subdue. Abundance gives me big volume. Subdue takes it away. Or for the woolly, frizzy person who they dry and the ends are a little dehydrated because she's a mess, you know, she doesn't take care of herself. She needs a haircut, but she always says the next time. Okay. This is Subdue. There are women who have big wool hair. They go to a salon 2 or 3 times a week for a blow dry. And in the middle, when they're combing their hair in the morning, they can put a few drops in the hands and, you know, just go mids to ends. It smooths everything down. It's wonderful. And it rinses out. If you love pomades, if you have people who have the spiky look, if they want to hold the hair, men and women who have shorter hair, who want to, or a gray haircut that's very texturized and they want that spiky, piecey look, pieces. And it keeps the hair, it separates it into pieces. Rinses out beautifully. It's a great, great product. And our stylists, a lot of the people, they use Subdue on when it's wet. They use pieces when dry. So Subdue when wet, you might have a woolly lady, but she still has some texture in the hair. So what you'll do is you'll use the Subdue on the wet hair and the pieces on the dry hair. Then what we'll do is we'll send these to your warehouse. And if you'd like to give these to salons purchasing, it's great for them to be able to let the clients read these, by the way. They like them. Also, this is, we were just mentioned in Launchpad, our Glisten, which if anybody liked Redken drops, the glass drops, they'll love this because it doesn't make the hair quite as greasy. Okay? But this is like the glass drops, and it's really, really something.